Hey everyone, this is Zay the Barber, and I'm here to give you guys a quick insight on the barber industry. I'm going to answer some questions and topics that some people have commented. I'm going to be giving you guys the game so that you guys can improve yourselves through this barber industry and evolve as the person that you want to become. Someone recently asked me just where I'm from and what are some of my biggest struggles in the industry. So I'm from Sacramento, California. I'm a licensed barber for about 10 months right now. I work at the Rich Barber Hair Studio in Sacramento downtown. I just got my license around 10 months ago, but I am doing pretty good for myself in this barber industry, and I am here so that I can, share some of the things that I've done in so quick of time. Some of the struggles that I've been through is just changing from going from the garage to the barbershop, and as well as changing a drastic location. I was originally cutting through the garage in Elk Grove, around like 30-40 minutes from the Rich Barber Hair Studio, where I was charging $25, where I was originally charging $15 in the garage. I think that was a huge drop off for my clients, going up on price as well as changing location. I probably lost about 75% of my clients. I had to regain all of the clients that I could just to pay booth rent, get and kind of bring some money in my pocket. But I quickly marketed myself so that I can get myself where I wanted to be now. And that's why I'm here to share some of those things, those marketing tools, some of those tactics so that you can get yourself booming and doing what you want to do quickly. You don't always have to be in this industry for 5 years and 10 years to be great and everything. It may take only a couple months, 6 months, but you have to put in the work. The next question that I got from someone is, starting out, barber school or apprenticeship. I know some of you guys who want to be barbers so badly, sometimes, barber school may not be fitted for you just because you want instant cash and you don't want to have to go through barber school for a long period of time. But on another hand, apprenticeship, that's a 2-year program, as well as you may have to study on your own, and it's harder to learn the material to pass that exam. My suggestion is to really dissect your situation and understand that, if you're a young barber, you just graduated high school, or you're young, you live at home, or you have some financial stability, I would say take that time and go to barber school and just get it out the way. Because I think that it's a lot easier just to go to barber school, do the time, know the material, learn and soak in the industry and go out in the field. But on the other hand, for those that are, you feel like you need to make money instantly, you want to get into the career instantly, you don't have time to waste, you already you already know how to cut hair. I think apprenticeship would be a good situation for you. I just think that it takes a lot more work and discipline, because it's going to take a longer period of time. You still have to pass the exam, and you still have to know the same material. And in barber school, they teach you the material up front. So it all depends on your situation, and just make sure that you take those reasons into consideration. So one big question, I think is probably the most important question of this video, is someone asked how to market and advertise yourself, and with an additional question is how to get clients when you start out. You have 0 clients, you go into a new shop. This is something that I struggled with firsthand, and which I'm going to help you with. The first thing you probably want to do is you want to create you an Instagram account, Facebook account, anything that's able to be marketed and advertised for your cuts. I would strictly stick to probably Facebook and Instagram. Those are where most people are really on. I would focus on getting yourself on Yelp, getting yourself on the internet, so that when people are searching for barbers and haircuts, that they can actually find you. I suggest getting a booking system. I use genbook.com. So in order to market yourself, you have to rise above the noise. There's a lot of barbers out there. There's a lot of places for people to go. What makes you special? You got to figure that out by your skill set, by your personality, your discipline. You have to have tremendous discipline in order to retain clients, because if you show up late to an appointment, people are not going to come back. If you're flaking all the time with your clients, that's what you're going to get. But the number one thing to marketing yourself, though, is when you're on Instagram, posting a lot of pictures. I would say post a picture every single day and put every single hashtag that you could think of that is location wise, barbers, getting yourself reposted on other people's pages, putting like I put Sac Barbers, wherever you're from, put the city and then put barbers, put everything that you can that can relate to you so that people can find you. You'd be surprised at how many people can find you on Explore page on Instagram. The next question is, when to raise your prices, when to, how much you should charge. I personally charge $30. That may be a lot to some people. Others, they could charge more than me. It all depends. But I think that you need to understand how big is your demand. I see a lot of people who raise their prices who haven't raised their skill set. I've taken into consideration the services you're giving, how long you're taking to do those services, and then calculate how much you want to get paid hourly or how much you want to get paid per cut, and really, analyze your value and your time. Everyone's value and time is different. You may value your time more than someone else's. I can't really tell you how much you should charge. Only you should know that. Okay, welcome back to this part 2 section of this Q&A. The second question that we're going to talk about is someone asks the importance of using and maintaining proper tools. So I would say that is probably the biggest thing that's going to keep you from having any problems happen. When you're in barber school, they always teach how to be sanitary and maintain your equipment, not because of how that is going to make the haircut come out so clean, but it's going to protect you, your clients, and the general public. You want to make sure that you're using cool care, spraying off your clippers, making sure that between each client and you're using a straight razor, change the blade every time, making sure that you guys have barbicide using and cleaning out your guards and combs. You also want to understand that in order to get a crisp lineup, a great blend, you want to make sure that you're oiling all your clippers so that your clippers can run properly, because that can save you in the long run. That can keep your clippers running for years and years versus always having to buy new ones. Probably one of the most valuable things that you can learn from retaining clients is communication skills with your clients. When I mean communication skills, I mean things like texting your client 30 minutes before their appointment to make sure that you're going to be there and that everything is running smooth. Maybe sometimes you're running behind because someone was late, or your haircut is taking a little bit longer. If a walk-in comes in and they may be intimidated, you have to introduce yourself, say, hey, my name's Isaiah, nice to meet you. Or if they ask for a haircut and you're not able to get them, talk to them and say, I may have an available appointment later for you. Would that work? Communication goes a long way, because people that may or may not use your services will always have a remembrance of you, and that they can always speak highly of you, and whether or not they want to refer you or come back and receive a service. To give you guys some suggestions, there's, so first you start off with a haircut, there's shampooing, there's shaving, there's, trimming the beard. I've seen people do facials, head massages. My fellow barber Dunn, he gives a presidential package where he has a steamer where he gives a haircut shampoo, facial, and a shave. Imagine if you were able to give 3 or 4 extra services beyond a haircut and a shave, and you were able to, increase your income. There's so many different things that you can do in this barber industry. You get paid in this barber industry by your skill set, and so if you can enhance your skill set in any way, then it's going to help you in the long run. So last one that someone asked, and I think is probably one of the most important topics about this industry, which is kind of aside from it, is money management and saving. I think some of us get so caught up, if we're making a lot of money, that's cash that's coming into our pockets, and which sometimes, it's kind of hard to manage that because we don't keep track, or we just put it in the bank and, or spend some of it right after work. That if you guys are paying like booth rent, I would say, within the first couple of days, pay out your booth rent, as well as, putting some money that you earn each day into, a box at the house, or, and that at the end of the week you put it all into the savings. I suggest everyone to create a system financially so that they can, get the financial freedom in their life as well. Thank you for watching, and I hope all you guys gain great insight on how to be successful in this barber industry. I'm hoping to give you guys some more information so that you guys can be successful. Thank you. Have a good day, y'all.